had a precious moment with my husband. I came back from tending to my father as we put him into hospice. I've spoken about this earlier. And Jim and I were talking about whether he could make the funeral or not. Some of you may remember he's experiencing 4th stage cancer right now, and the body is very weak right now. Jim's spirit is strong and his body is weak. And I walked in, Jim had needed some attention. He was just, I needed to work with him and to help him, give him some energy, administer him and clean him up a little bit. And after that was all over and we had him back in the bed, we were talking about if he was going to be well enough to go to Daddy's funeral. And we both realized that he was not, in fact, strong enough to make the trip to Illinois by 2 planes and all the travel. And as the reality of that moment sunk in, I was sad. I know I've spoken into sadness before, and that's the word that comes to me now. Of course, it was much more complex with that. And this realization that I was soon going to be burying my father, and that my husband was too sick to come be a part of that, was overwhelming to me. And I don't cry a lot. And all of a sudden I felt this desire to release this intense, massive emotion that was overcoming me. And my precious husband looked at me and said, "Come over here and lay down beside me so I can hold you. I think you'll let yourself cry then." And I did. I gave myself that beautiful opportunity to be held by him and to let all of that emotion, that overwhelm, the sadness, the frustration, the unbelievability of the situation, the joy of a life well lived, of 2 lives well lived, speaking into my husband's as well as my father's. And here's this man with 4th stage cancer, bedridden, bringing me so much comfort and joy and creating this beautiful safe space for me. Sometimes life is tough. And what I know from my experience is that when we are willing to stay real in the moment, when we're really willing to look at reality and what's right in front of us, then we can experience what's happening and we can move it through us in a very healthy way, in a way that's emotionally healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy, because we don't get some trapped emotions and blocked energy stuck in our body that creates pain later. If we are willing to live in the present moment through these times, whether they're hard or sad or exquisite or full of love, we get to have that. We get to move it through us. We then release the energy that we don't want blocked, and we incorporate the reality of it into our beingness. So there's no resentment, there's no fear, there's no running away from it. It simply is. And when we understand that emotion is energy in motion, it makes it simpler for me, and maybe for you, that energy and emotion can be released so it doesn't have to get stuck in our beautiful bodies. And then it doesn't have to come out sideways or inappropriately towards our loved ones or towards ourselves. That we can move it through and we can fully live in this present moment, operating from our higher selves, operating from our eternal essential self. That's one of my personal missions, is to stay in the present moment and really work to live and hope to live and beautifully live from the aspect of my higher self. Connie with Quantum Energy Infusion, where everything is energy.